We are live again here Tuesday evening in Denmark at least. We are going to look at commodities, gold and silver, gold to silver ratio. Does something that we've been looking at for a very long time. And yeah, oil. There's a lot of things that is actually starting to look quite good. Still, it has some work to do. I know it sounds boring, but anyways, if you like what you see, um, subscribe, comment, thumbs up, all that good stuff you need to do on YouTube as well on Twitter. Follow me there for more great content. At least I think that myself. So yeah, let's dive into the business, starting with silver. Good old silver. Long-term golden trend line coming down here. The big one. That's the big one right there. Also, I've mentioned many times, 26 is the level for me to get above. Why? A few reasons why. Back in when the bear market began, or in the bull market, it were the big resistance, and the bear market started when we broke down from the 26. Therefore, it makes sense to me that when the bull market begins again for silver, it is when we break back above the 26. Also, you have the highs here. You can see them all the way coming across. There's a lot of stuff going on at the $26 level. That's the big one. The long-term golden trend line is here. We are very close to breaking that one. That's roughly at just north of 25. We're in this green uptrend here, which is always nice. It held here, and hopefully we can finally get that move above the 26. And it could be this time around. We will look into the gold and silver ratio in just a moment. What I'm looking at on gold, nothing much has happened, and yet there has been. You can see it here. Two big green weeks this week and the past week. Again, this is a squeeze here, the third touch, and a minor retrace, and hopefully this is when we go big on gold. And why am I so bullish on gold right now? I also mentioned that last week that the silver and gold miners, gold and silver miners were a steal at this point in time. Why? Because, listen up, because we are breaking. Again, it's very early, so no confirmation yet, but we are breaking. Finally, it looks like, again, it's early, that one right there. Again, right here, we had similar, we had a breakdown and then we came all the way back up again. And what I'm looking at, let's go to the daily. What I am looking at for the gold to silver ratio is finally a weekly close below the 78.5. 78.5. And look at today's candle. Last time, this is the lower trend line, the golden one, which we looked at just before. Last time we dipped below, back into this low here, and then we came right back up again. False breakdown. Now, right below, small retest, and now we're trying to break that. 78.5 ratio level for gold and silver. That's why I think if it starts to collapse here, especially if we get below the golden trend line here, but again, it should start here anyways. Silver will go above the 25s, 26, and gold will break above the 2K level, and it's on, in my view. Let's see at the end of the week how low it will go. But yeah, this looks very interesting. Very, very interesting. Right. The dollar, the Dixie, the good old Dixie. We have been waiting for this bearish wedge for a very long time now, like 2 months or so. And we had a bit of a peak above here, and now we're collapsing straight down. As expected, as mentioned previous times, usually a falling wedge, a rising wedge has two options, more or less only, right? You have the break to the upside and then collapse, or you could just get a straight collapse right away. The third option is, of course, you get the break to the upside and you stay there and flag, or stays above that level. But more than often, it breaks down to the downside. That's why it calls a bearish wedge. Right now, what's happening is that we're breaking down from the wedge and we are testing this one here, a big golden trend line coming across right there. Again, if this doesn't hold, it could be just a back test, right? And then we go again. So keep that in mind. But still, if it doesn't hold, then it collapses way more to the downside. Also looking at the 10-year, there it is. We looked at the double top. Also, we had the rising wedge here, which we are breaking down from right now, which is not good for the dollar. Go to the weekly. Again, if we break down here and the $4 level doesn't hold, then we're going in for a big test here in my view. That's the path of least resistance if that happens, all the way down here to around 3.7. And from there, we will see what happens. But for now, it looks like that it's trying to put in a double top. And now we will see how low we can go, basically. WTI USD, the oil. It's been a while. As you can see here, I had my last drawing on when we were breaking down here, all the way down here. I said this is the path of least resistance. What has happened since then is we went in for the backtest of the neckline here, and we broke to the upside straight away. So a false breakdown from the neckline, and we took out this squeeze here. You can see it right there. We took that one out. Again, we need to close above the shoulder high, the right shoulder high at around 82 before we can negate this. And if we do take out the shoulder highs at 82, then we have more upside in my view. But still, again, right here is a no man's land. You have to wait and see. Again, getting above the 33.34 is very, very bullish. Again, if you go for full retest, that's also a very good buying opportunity. Long term, I am very, very bullish on oil. Right there, you can see it here. Long term, 15-year long chart. There it is. Breakout, retest, resumption. In my view, it's just a matter of time. Okay. Palladium, very quickly, very boring. We're still in the Elliott wave count here, and we have been holding this range here for 2 months right now. And again, I'm just waiting. If, of course, a breakout to the upside here, again, we could collapse, but still, this right here, a pause. You can see every single time we have had bear flags all over the place. More or less, right now, for the first time, we have some sort of pause or a bottom potentially for Palladium. Platinum, very strong bounce of the internal here. Again, there it is, the internal, the $900 level held again. And it looks, again, we're still in a long bull flag. So, I mean, there it is. That's the bull flag. Quite easy. But I think, again, if we can get above the 1K, especially the 1K50, the 2050, then I think it's game on again. But as you can see clearly, let me zoom in for you guys. This is a very strong move, and we have overhead resistance on the way up here. So this could be a double top, and then we go down, or it is the W that we're looking for, and then we get the break to the upside. Again, I think what defines this move is to get above the 1K level. It's a big psychology level, you know, they're going from 3 digits to 4. That's always a big one if you can hold that. Good. Copper, good old copper. You have seen this one before. Breakdown here. I got very nervous. Said that we have support here at the 3.6. But basically, false breakdown. Now we're back in the wedge again. So it's in one's game. This is the upper. This is the lower. Again, getting above 4 is really what you're looking at in my view. Getting above the 4 here, if we can snap that, game on copper. But the $4 level is a big one. Why? You can see it here all the way across. Support and resistance level. And basically, yeah, that's the flip zone for me, the flip level for me, the $4 level for copper. Nat gas, again, trying to make a decent bottom here, but still in a bear flag. So nothing more to say. Had a tiny bit of a false breakdown here for now. So let's see. But again, we need to get above the blue right here at 3. And then we have a trend line coming down here. But again, hopefully we can get into that and go higher if you're in nat gas. Again, breaking the bear flag to the downside, meaning a full move down to 2 again at least. Looking at the Dutch, the European nat gas again, the 44 is the big level to watch right there. You can still see we're trying to make some sort of bottom here for the first time. Also, the long-term trend line right here is still holding. So right now it could just be one big breakout, and then we're just going back to that major level going back 4 years for nat gas. Again, we need the confirmation above the 44 right there. Okay, URNM. Oh, we've seen that many times. I'll gladly show it again. This doesn't need much explanation in my view. breaking out of that bad boy right there. Beautiful, beautiful. There it is. You can see it, the internals. Boom, breakout. What we need now is a close above the first high here. You can see lower high, lower high, lower high. So we need to work on the first higher high. Pull back, then go right. So we need to make a higher high here. That's why it's stalling on a day where everything looks very, very good. This is one of the reasons. Also, I want to show you the Euro. For some reason, the lines are gone. Doesn't matter. We have the squeeze here, right? And we are fighting with the $24 level right there, just a tad below 24 to round it up. And we need to take out that height right there. Why? This is the neckline. Shoulder, head, shoulder. We want to negate that big formation by taking out the right shoulder highs. Typically, when you take out the right shoulder highs, you have negated this whole topping pattern right there. So that's why 24 is such a big resistance, and we are fighting with it as we speak. So let's see where it takes us, actually. But yeah, XLE, nothing much to report. We're still just coming all the way up here. Nothing much has happened. Oil is up somewhat big today, and yeah, OIH, similar thing, sitting on top of the red zone right there. You can see why the long-term golden is right here. I'm going through it very quickly because nothing much has happened. And we're just sitting on top there for a while. That's very, very bullish to stay here, do nothing, create some sort of base upon major above a major breakout level. Super. I love it. XOP. Long term, as you know, possible inverted head and shoulders. Again, we are squeezing here right now, and we are at the top. Let's see what happens. We haven't broken out yet, but if we do, you have the neckline as the next target at 175 something. So that's quite a big move. Tan, oh, tan, solar. This was a big breakdown in my view. That one right there. You also have one minor coming up here. You can see here the waterfall started. We talked about, that this, we actually have the old drawings right there, that this bottom needs to hold. We're getting bounce here today. That's quite nice, to be honest. Still, I want to see that before I do anything for the tan. I think long term, that's the play. Again, governments are just pouring money into the solar sector. So why shouldn't it go to the upside? I think that's where we're going. But I want to wait for this one to do something like that. Again, we haven't made a third lower low. Let me show you if I can get the right things to go away. There it is. We have the first low here, the second low. We haven't made a third. Maybe we have barely, but still, it could make a longer low right there. And then we have the three impulses to the downside. Okay, let me show you here. This is lithium. False breakout above the bullish bull flag, or the bull flag. Now we have made the second low, and actually the third low we have maybe made today. I'm saying maybe, because I still think we can go all the way down here, but we're back above again. Why is that one gone? Right there it is. We're back above again, into the more bullish zone. So this could be a tiny wave, a fifth move down here, and then we have the three bottoms. Again, I'm waiting for that move there. I know this one, Lith, has a lot of Tesla in it. That's maybe why it's bouncing today, because Tesla's up big time. Overall banking, still looking sick. Bear flag right there. Before this one turns bullish, it needs to get above that high right there and the breakout of this long-term trend line there. Nothing much to say. It's still a bear flag, so the path of least resistance is a move down right here to that one. Long-term, the 2008 highs, give or take. So NVIDIA still amazes me. It's amazing. You can see here, we had the earnings gap up here, close the gap, retest as we talked about, and now it's actually continuing. At least today it is. Again, you can see that high there, and that one there. You can see the highs here on the RSI getting lower and lower and lower. So we have, there it is, negative divergence right there. So be careful, be careful, careful. Again, this is the Brazilian ETF long term. This is my entry right there. When we get above that one at around 34, that's my level to go in and to be long for many years to come. Right here, zooming out, right there, there it is, easy. GDX. No, let me start with excuse me, with some coal actually. This was the whole craze, back in 2022. 2 lines is on. We have that one coming down here. I think we can go all the way down here still, but for now we are actually bouncing here, here, and again here maybe. So it's trying to. We are very close to a bottom for coal, no doubt about it at all. Just to have to wait and see when it happens. There it is. Okay, this is the GDX. Again, this is the upper. The bull market starts for minus when we get above there quite easily. And yeah, nothing much to report really. Not for now, not for now. However, on the SILJ, we have the upper rail here, as you know. The low one is coming here, here, and then we had a breakdown, and now we're actually back into that big formation there. And we have made this possible blue wedge right here. If this is a false breakdown and we snap here, you have no idea how much momentum this will create for the silver miners. Again, it lines up with the gold and silver and the gold to silver ratio as we looked at in the beginning, looking very primed for something big. Again, you'll probably maybe see it first on the SILJ, the miners, I don't know. Usually they lead because that's the speculative money going in. I don't know, but it's getting to the point where I think, as mentioned, gold to silver ratio, we are very primed for a big move if this starts to collapse right here. Let's see how that. I will do a weekly recap on Friday after the close, so we have the weekly candle fully. Again, if you like what you see, any questions, anything, let me know in the comments below. Keep me that thumbs up, the subscription, and all that good stuff. And I will now, I think now I will record the uranium recap for the midweek, where we will look more into detail what has happened in the uranium space. Nothing much has happened the past 2 days, so it will probably go rather quick. Anyways, have a great one. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.